and I couldn't, and I haven't gone through. You're welcome. All right, is it my
turn?
Yours. Okay. All right, I'll shut up then.
Would you just shut up already?
I cannot. It is not possible.
He took a deep breath before he answered. You could do so much better, Bella. I know that you believe that I have a soul, but I'm not entirely convinced on that point. And to risk yours... He shook his head slowly. For me to allow this, to let you become what I am just so that I'll never have to lose you, is the most selfish act I can imagine. I want it more than anything for myself. But for you, I want so much more. Giving in, it feels criminal. It's the most selfish thing I'll ever do, even if I live forever. If there were any way for me to become human for you, no matter what the price was, I would pay it.
Eddie C. How dare you?
I just always read Edward lines because I love him so much.
He's the best.
He really is.
Oh my gosh.
If our podcast does anything, I know we've switched a few Team Jacobs to Team Edwards, and that's all I could have ever hoped for.
Oh man. Speaking of that, hi. My name is Marin.
My name is Emily.
And this is
Remember Twilight?
I remember Twilight.
I remember most of it.
Right now, we are right in the middle.
Oh my heavens.
Almost. Of Eclipse.
I'm gonna just die.
I know,
because
it's
this is
wild.
crazy.
Look at my book, is so beautiful. We are in chapter 12, in fact, of Eclipse.
In fact, we are.
It is called Time. Very cool.
Cool.
What happened last week?
Well, last week, Bella joined Jacob for the campfire jamboree.
Fun.
And got to hear some stories, and unfortunately, she started the very beginnings of making a Bella plan.
Oh no.
Which we always try to stop those early on. But yeah, she had a good time. Jacob ate 10 hot dogs, but Bella fell asleep before she could see him eat a cow.
I'm pretty sure my little brother Adam ate 10 hot dogs one day.
I honestly could go for 10 hot dogs right now.
I'm a big fan of a hot dog.
They're so delicious.
I mean...
I'm gonna cry the next time I get to eat a Disneyland corn dog. It's all I ever want.
You know, I did not. I went to Disneyland last year, and it was a big, long, expensive, fun, tiring trip, and it was 2 days before I moved. So I was very stressed out. The whole time I was like, I don't want to go. This is just going to be nothing but stress. I went, and I enjoyed myself so much. It was probably one of the best trips to Disneyland I've ever been on. It went perfectly. Everything was so good. And still, when I got home, I was very stressed out, and then we moved, and I got really sick, and whatever. And now, though, I'm like, I look back at pictures, and I'm like, I'm so glad I did that. I didn't want to. I fought it the whole time, and then now I'm like, I wouldn't take that back for any amount of money.
Yeah.
It was such a precious time.
Disneyland.
And who knows when we'll be able to go back.
I know.
So I'm so grateful for that. It was fun.
Totally. This chapter begins with Alice being really cool and funny.
Do you love an Alice joke as much as I love an Alice joke?
They're there at school, and Alice just stops.
Alice.
And she closes her eyes, and she says, I have foreseen. And Edward just is an elbow jab.
And she's like, a skip away. Oh my gosh, so cute.
And she's like, okay, so I didn't actually foresee Edward is making me do this, but Bella, I do know that you'll be mad if I try to surprise you with it, so I'm going to tell you what's happening.
And Bella's like, oh, what? I don't,
know.
What do you mean? Who?
Bella's like, in English, though? And Alice is like, oh, yes, we are
but first,
what?
She makes a very valid request. No tantrums.
Ah, yes, the Bella tantrum. Great if you can avoid it. She says, Edward has requested that we throw you a graduation party.
Party! Bella, try to enjoy the party from the billionaires.
Heck yeah, dude.
Let it happen.
Just let it happen.
Let the earth move under your feet.
Yes, and let Alice put that dress on you. Bella asks, okay, something that happens a lot in books is people ask each other questions, but then that means that I say asks 100 times an episode, and the last time I was editing, I noticed that sometimes I don't fully say asks, and so I just cut it off and I say like, so-and-so asked da-da-da-da-da instead of asks. And asks, I'm sure you guys noticed, sounds horrible. And so I'm like, really, I'm doing them a blessing by not like speaking properly, but also it's very distracting.
Okay,
so
let me tell you, as somebody who has edited about half as many videos as you've done recordings.
Yeah.
I've never noticed it.
Good.
Never. And I listen very carefully, and I cut out stuff that's bad, and whatever. No, I've never noticed.
That's all I
so
can
don't
hear.
worry.
I know every time I say asks, I'm like, make sure you say it right, but know that it's really annoying.
So funny.
So I'm like, Bella wondered aloud if she had any ground to argue with
really
Alice.
Good.
Okay. Alice says no, so Bella just agrees to unhappily be there.
Oh, Bella, just go with it. I can't understand her at all.
This is the best reaction that Alice could have hoped for, so she's pleased. And she tells Bella that she loves the gift that she got her.
And then me, this is where I relate with Bella 100%. Because Bella's like, oh shit, what did I get? What did I think about getting? What did I know? Because I do that all the time. I'll be scrolling and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I have to get that for Mickey. Scroll. Completely leaves my brain for the rest of my life, and I never get it for anyone.
Yeah.
I am so Bella in this moment.
Yeah, she's like, oh no. I literally can't even trying to remember to get them a graduation gift.
We get gifts for graduation? Oh no.
Yeah. The only thing Bella's really mad about, though, is she's like, you guys should have waited until graduation was closer to tell me this, because now I'm just going to sit and worry forever about it and be nervous. And Bella's like, or Alice is like, oh, Bella, dear, do you know what the day is? And Bella's like, well, it's a Monday. And Alice is like, yes, but graduation is next Monday.
Which, BT dubs, why is graduation on a Monday?
No, it should be on Friday.
Have you ever?
You idiots.
Okay, I just was confused.
Who's making the school schedules in the Forks district?
Somebody who's like, let's have graduation on a Monday so everybody has to go to bed early.
Perfect.
What?
No. Bella is shocked by this news, tries to figure out where in the world the month of May went.
Me too! Oh my gosh, I am relating so hard with Bella right now.
Like, we graduate Monday? There's no way it's already June. It is. Surprise. And it's in this moment that Bella realizes that she's actually not ready for the bite.
What?
And this is the first time she's had even 1 second of like hesitation about anything to do with this plan and this situation.
Bella, you didn't think about it?
I guess she planned on thinking about it and figuring things out, and then she just never did. And now it's here, and she doesn't know how to say goodbye to her parents or to Jacob, and
sometimes it really does help to have a countdown going.
Get that chain
on
the wall.
A paper chain, just so you can look at it and a visual. And okay, well that's like 20 chains, and then in 10 days, okay, that's 10, that's close. And once you get to 7, you're toast.
Done.
Get there.
Yeah.
She could have done that. I wish Alice had done it for her.
She should have. She should have been like the human to vampire transformation countdown checklist, and like sat down with Bella and been like, okay, what are all the human things that we need to do before you transform? Let's put it in an agenda. We'll share a calendar on Google. We'll both get the alerts. I'll help you with everything.
This girl right here, Emily is Alice. Emily is Alice, you guys. And I am
Unfortunately.
Bella.
We're gonna have a calendar. We'll put the alerts on. We're gonna do
honestly,
this.
you guys.
How this works.
You guys.
Bella, of course, has not changed her mind about the whole situation.
Nope.
But
Now she's just shaking constantly about it.
Graduation is very close. In fact, she's so nervous about this that she doesn't talk the rest of the day at school.
It's like that one day where Edward didn't say anything all day.
Yeah, but...
And Bella was going crazy. Now this time Bella's not saying anything all day and Edward's like, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah, they go the rest of the day at school, the drive home from school. He takes her home, they go sit on the couch, and he's like, please tell me what you are thinking.
He lays her down and he makes an idiot sandwich immediately. Mm-hmm. Would you please tell me what you were thinking before I go mad?
Yes. She's like, oh, it's just that the date surprised me, and I don't know what I'm supposed to say to Charlie or anyone else, and I'm just freaking out. And he's like, oh, yes, I understand.
This isn't about the party?
No. Thank God. This we can fix. I got you on this one. He's like, it's fine, you're not ready. And she's like, well, yeah, but like, so there's so many people that just want to kill me, Edward. And he's like, listen.
She goes, I am, which was a lie. And then she goes, I have to be. And he goes, you don't have to be anything. That's the best thing Edward's ever said.
Yeah, he tells her that he doesn't want this fear to play any part in her decision. Whether or not that decision had been made previously doesn't matter. What matters is how you feel right now. Yes. And you can change your mind.
And he says all of this while he's making the tightest idiot sandwich he can.
Her cheeks are just squished in there.
He's like, you do not have to make this decision right now. Mm-hmm. She's just like wide-eyed, cheeks squished.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
He's like, no. Carlisle will be there after graduation. The agreement was not that he will only change you on graduation and no other time. He will do it anytime after graduation.
Oh my gosh.
So don't worry about that. And when you are ready and you are not in danger and there's nothing forcing you into this, then we'll make the decision then and do whatever you want.
Yes, you're not going to be forced into this.
Mm-hmm. He kisses her on the forehead, and then she asks him what she is getting Alice for graduation, because this is stressful, guys. And he's like, oh, apparently there is a concert that you got us tickets for. And she's like, aha! I do remember seeing that in the newspaper.
This is the biggest thing where I'm just like, oh, it's so convenient to have Alice as a best friend and Edward as a boyfriend.
Heck yeah, dude.
You'd never have to forget anything.
No, nothing
I
at
need
all.
them. I need them.
He asks her if there was something else that she wanted to ask him, though. And she says yes. And she asks him why he doesn't want her to be a vampire. And this is a very hard, scary question to ask someone.
Yeah, but he handles this with grace.
He's so good.
It's beautiful the way he answers her. Mm-hmm. It's almost like he thought about it for an entire year.
He did, in fact. He's surprised that she has said this. And he says that he'll tell her, but he wants to know why she's asking. She says, yep, she agrees. And so he says that he isn't fully convinced that he has a soul, and to allow her to risk hers just so he can keep her forever is the most selfish thing he could and would ever do. And that if there was any way that he could be a human for her, that he would do it no matter what it was.
Oh my gosh.
Time
I
to cry.
just think that is angelic. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's almost like he's like trying to say, I understand you, because I would become human this second if I could. Mm-hmm. So I get it that you want to be a vampire, but it might destroy your soul. And like me, as like a big old heathen non-believer, I'm like, oh please, just bite her already. But like, you know, I get that. Like, Edward truly believes that his soul was taken away when he died and became a monster. And he does not want that to happen to the love of his life.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting the different ways that both Jacob and Edward see this, because they both think that you turn into a monster when you become a vampire. But the way that Jacob sees it is that Bella will no longer be Bella.
Yeah.
She's just going to be this monster, and that's that. Edward has already told Bella that, you know, it's in the next little bit, but he says to her, like, I'll always love you, and you're going to be a little bit more durable, but you'll still be Bella.
I know.
Which is so fascinating, the different ways that
Yeah.
that shows how they feel like the soul is in the body.
Yeah.
Because, like, how can you be yourself if you don't have your soul?
Right.
But that's how Edward sees it. She'll still be Bella.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, and he has seen. I mean, so he saw Rosalie transition.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew her before.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, she's the same.
Mm-hmm.
She's exactly the same. And then he didn't know Emmett, but he can read Emmett's mind.
Yeah.
So as soon as Emmett changed, Edward was like, well, there's no way this guy wasn't exactly like this before he was a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he has seen it.
Yeah.
He saw it with Esme. He knows that you stay the same. You're just bloodthirsty.
Mm-hmm.
And that the bloodthirst is what makes you horrific
Mm-hmm.
and a monster. It's not anything about who your personality is. It's the bloodthirst. And you know what's interesting is we're going to get into that a lot more in The Short Second Life of Brie Tanner in a couple chapters. Because it does talk a lot about how it's the bloodthirst that makes vampires act the way they do. It's nothing that has to do with being evil or not having a soul or having one. Nope, it's pure thirst.
It's very interesting that Carlisle hasn't invented, like, HelloFresh for vampires, where he'll just, like, at the hospital, I don't know how ethically he could do this. Maybe Edward would have to be the one to start it, but where they just, like, bank extra human blood. Like, there's those humans, like, the Volturi have, like, the human receptionist, right? She would donate weekly to a blood bank for vampires. Like, there are people out there.
Well, plus we've already talked about banking Bella's blood.
Exactly. Like, just, why can't we get a to-go service for vampire blood delivery?
I mean, in Breaking Dawn, he's bringing blood home every day.
Yeah.
Where is he getting that?
Where indeed?
Is it? I mean,
It's from the hospital.
But
he
why?
says
You can't just take it.
He does.
You can't. You can't.
He did it.
You can't
He
just
stole
take
it.
blood. Well, and so I was like, how do they get all the blood in Buffy? Because Angel drinks human blood.
Sometimes he
Out
gets
of
it
a
from the
coffee
butcher,
cup.
though.
Oh, so is it animal blood?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't realize
yeah,
that.
he goes to, and Spike does it once, I think, too, but they just, like, go to the butcher and they buy their gallons bag of blood.
What's cool about Buffy verse is that vampires can actually eat and drink human food and drinks in that, and I love that.
Spike loves a bloomin' onion more
He
than
loves
anything.
a bloomin' onion. They love to drink. You know, like, I think that's very cool. I was a little bit, like, jarred when I read these, because I was like, oh, but eating is the only true joy in my life. So, yeah,
oh my
anyway.
Gosh, yeah.
Back to the story.
Back to these guys. So Bella tells him that her fear, and the reason she asks the question, is that he might not like her anymore when she isn't soft and she doesn't smell the same.
Yeah, so she's kind of like taking Jacob's fear into her own heart and being like, I'm scared that actually might happen.
Yeah, like, I'll be changed, I won't be me. How can I know that you'll still love me even after I change? And Edward just stares at her and he goes, you were worried that I wouldn't like you?
Oh, no.
He laughs, basically calls Bella an idiot. He's
Yes.
gonna get the buns back out any second here, and he tells her that it'll make it so much easier to be with her when he doesn't want to kill her all the time. And that he'll miss her blushing and the sound of her heart, but it doesn't matter because she'll still be Bella and she'll still be just a little bit more durable. And he wants to ask her another question. These guys are so thoughtful of asking if they can ask a question.
I don't know. I don't like it when people do that.
It's really annoying. They've done it 100 times here.
CL's friend does that. She'll be like, can I ask a question? And I'll be like, listen to me. Just ask a question.
Yeah. He wonders why she doesn't want to be his wife. And Bella
Oh, no.
is like, ugh, this again. Well, Edward, I will tell you why I don't want to be your wife. And that is because it is modern times. I'm 18. What will people think? People don't just get engaged and get married at 18, Edward. It's embarrassing.
Okay, here's the truth, though. Bella doesn't want to be Renee. She would not... Okay, let's look at it this way. If Angela was like, I'm going to marry Ben,
Mm-hmm.
she would be like, awesome! Absolutely, marry Ben. That's so cool. Like, she might be a little judgy and be like, oh, you're really young, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But she would be like, totally, you guys are meant for each other. You're awesome together. Get married. That's great. This is not about that. I think this is that she just doesn't want to be Renee. You know, this is, she saw Renee, like, do this awful thing to her dad. She just couldn't forgive herself if she ended up doing the same stupid thing that she has hated Renee for all these years.
Yeah.
That's
just,
how
like,
I feel
broke
about
Charlie.
it. Yeah, and she, of course, you know, like, I think that this being like, this is the 21st century. I can't get married when I'm 18. It's her, like, way of not saying something mean about her mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even know if she, like, consciously is like, I don't want to be like Renee, or if this is just like, I can't do that, and so her brain has like worked out a different way to say it, and this is how it came out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Edward double checks that it's not because that she was more eager for immortality than she was for him, and Bella just absolutely dies laughing at the idea
loses
of
her
this.
mind.
She calls him an idiot sandwich, and
Mm-hmm.
then tells him that there's no point in forever if it doesn't include him.
Okay, so these exchanges that they've just had where they're laughing and they're talking and they're having a very meaningful conversation.
Yeah, they're opening up and being so vulnerable.
This is the stuff that people don't know
Mm-hmm.
about Twilight.
Yeah.
That because they don't show this in the movies. They don't explore these beautiful conversations that young people are having with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know very many young people who have these kind of conversations with each other, and I think it's beautiful, and I think it's cute, and they laugh at each other, and they're playing around, and they're having a very serious conversation, and I wish that people saw more of this side of Edward and Bella, because this is the relationship that people hold on to, people like us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally. So Edward thinks about what Bella has said, and he asks her if she'll consider his perspective. Because although she might not be that girl, he is totally that guy. And he tells her that if he had met her while he was a human 17-year-old, he wouldn't have waited to propose. He would have asked her to marry him right then and there. And Bella thinks about it a little bit, and she goes, okay, but it's not 1918 anymore, Edward. Like, no. But I'll think about it.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely has a moment where she imagines the whole scenario, and she's like, oh, hello.
Kind of dreamy.
Hello, me. With just a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And then she's like, no.
Yeah. He's like, you don't have to just tell me, like, yes or no right now, but I just want you to think about it.
But she says something really smart to him.
Mm-hmm.
She says, in my mind, marriage and eternity are not mutually exclusive or mutually inclusive concepts. And we're living in my world for the moment. Maybe we should go with the times, you know, like, she's like, we can be together forever without having to have a piece of paper that says we are.
Yeah. I support it.
Big smile.
Oh, yeah. He tells her that his offer still stands, that if she decides that she'll marry him, he will bite her after.
Yeah.
The next morning, Bella goes downstairs for breakfast. Charlie is already gone for the day, and she goes to check the paper to find the ad for the concert, but she instead finds an article.
Can I just say, when we talked, when we talked to Stephanie Meyer face to face and had a conversation with her, remember that?
Yeah.
I know, I'm embarrassed too. we asked her if she was a true crime fan, and guess what? She ain't.
She's not into the true
She
crime.
does not like true crime.
However,
But she threw us a bone here.
I would like to take the current opportunity to become Karen and or Georgia and read to you guys this Seattle Terrorized by Slaying's article.
It's so good. I love it. Stephanie gave us this gift.
She did.
Of a true crime moment
So
in
happy
Twilight.
right now.
Thank you, Stephanie.
This is from Eclipse. It's a book by Stephanie Meyer, and this article does not give any...
There's no sources.
Yeah, no sources. So I don't know who actually wrote this, but obviously it was Stephanie, but that's how Karen and Georgia start their articles, and so I had to as well. Because you gotta shout out the credits.
Yep.
So. And also, this word, I know how to say it, but I can't say it when I read it, so it's gonna be just like a Georgia moment for me.
I'll help you.
All the way through.
Are you gonna be Georgia? I'll be Karen.
I think so. That seems
I think
fitting
I
to
am
me.
more of a Karen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You are
In
Georgia.
true Georgia fashion. It's been less than a decade since the city of Seattle was the hunting ground for the most prolific serial killer in U.S. history, Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer, was convicted of the murders of 48 women.
Yes! I'm being Karen.
Coming
you
in
see.
with the stats. Mm-hmm. Okay, don't look at it. I can't.
I'll help you.
Thank you. We'll do like the two-headed monster situation. Okay. And now a
Beleaguered.
It's the A and the U and the G.
No,
there.
it's
confusing.
It's a terrible looking word. It's a word that I don't ever want to look at.
I really hate looking
But
at
it is pronounced beleaguered.
Seattle must face the possibility that it could be harboring an even more horrifying monster at this very moment. The police are not calling the recent rash of homicides and disappearances the work of a serial killer. Not yet, at least. They are reluctant to believe so much carnage could be the work of one individual. This killer, if in fact it is one person, would then be responsible for 39 linked homicides and disappearances within the last 3 months alone.
Oh, that's too many.
So many dead people around.
Too many.
Way too many. In comparison, Ridgway's 48-count murder spree was scattered over a 21-year period. If these deaths can be linked to one man, then this is the most violent rampage of serial murder in American history. Wow. The police are leaning instead towards the theory that gang activity is involved because of course they are.
Of course.
That was me, Emily,
it's
adding that in.
Mm-hmm.
This theory is supported dumbly by the sheer number of victims and the fact that there seems to be no pattern in the choice of victims.
Mm-hmm.
From Jack the Ripper?
Yes.
From Jack the Ripper to Ted Bundy, the targets of serial killings usually connected by similarities in age, gender, race, or a combination of the three. The victims of this crime wave range in age from 15-year-old honor student Amanda Reed to 67-year-old retired postman Omar Jenks. The linked deaths include a nearly even 18 women and 21 men. The victims are racially diverse: Caucasians, African Americans, Hispanics, and Asians. The selection appears random. The motive seems to be killing for no reason other than to kill. So why even consider the idea of a serial killer? There are enough similarities in the modus operandi to rule out unrelated crimes.
We call out the MO.
Yeah. Every victim discovered has been burned to the extent that dental records were necessary for identification. The use of some kind of accelerant like gasoline or alcohol seems to be indicated in the conflagrations. However, no traces of any accelerant have yet been found.
That's overkill.
All of the bodies have been carelessly dumped with no attempt at concealment. Not a good strategy.
No, no.
Nope. More gruesome yet, most of the remains show evidence of brutal violence. Bones crushed and snapped by some kind of tremendous pressure, which medical examiners believe occurred before the time of death, which is always the most awful news of these stories.
I know. Did you think these killers are just walking around with like a vice grips or like a clamp?
Yeah. The clamp
tremendous
killer.
pressure.
The Seattle clamp killer.
Oh, no.
Though these conclusions are difficult to be sure of, considering the state of the evidence. Another similarity that points to the possibility of a serial.
A serial.
A serial. Every crime is perfectly clean of evidence aside from the remains themselves. Not a fingerprint, not a tire tread mark, nor a foreign hair is left behind. There have been no sightings of any suspects in the disappearances. Then there are the disappearances themselves, hardly low profile by any means. None of the victims are what could be viewed as easy targets. None are runaways or the homeless who vanish so easily and are seldom reported missing. Victims have vanished from their homes, from a fourth-story apartment, from a health club, from a wedding reception. Perhaps the most astounding, 30-year-old amateur boxer Robert Welsh entered a movie theater with a date. A few minutes into the movie, the woman realized he was not in his seat. His body was found only 3 hours later, where firefighters were called to the scene during a burning trash dumpster 20 miles away.
Dumpster with a capital D for some
Capital
reason.
Dumpster. It's the city of dumpster.
Is dumpster a trademark?
I don't know.
It's like Levi's or Kleenex.
Yeah.
Dumpster.
Q-tip. Another pattern is present in the slayings. All of the victims disappeared at night. And the most alarming pattern, acceleration. 6 of the homicides were committed in the first month, 11 in the second. 22 have occurred in the last 10 days alone, and the police are no closer to finding the responsible party than they were after the first charred body was discovered. The evidence is conflicting, the piece is horrifying, a vicious new gang or a wildly active serial killer, or something else the police haven't yet conceived of. Only one conclusion is indisputable. Something hideous is stalking Seattle.
Oh, thank you. That was so good.
That was so fun.
Okay, imagine
I wish this was
sitting...
real.
I know. Can you
But not.
imagine?
Gosh.
Imagine sitting on a date in the movie theater and then like, and then like your friend is gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
And then
And they
3
were
hours
there.
later,
And then now they're gone and then they're dead.
dumpster's burning.
No.
Freaking wild.
This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is not fun. I mean, they want to say it's a gang.
Because,
It's an unsolved mystery so far, but
you know, that's the most easy thing to say.
it is the most easy thing to say.
Yeah.
You know what's easy? It's easy to say unruly groups of rebels are ruining everything.
Mm-hmm. They're not. It's vampires.
It's vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Really good.
Dear Bella has to reread that last sentence a couple times because she is nervous about it. And suddenly, Edward shows up and he's asking her what is wrong. She just
He's
gives
like,
him the article.
I did knock. Do you think he grabbed the key and unlocked it?
No, he
Put
just
the key back?
stuck his fingernail in there. I don't know. Charlie didn't lock the door.
No.
She shows him the article and he's like, oh my gosh, a capital D dumpster? That is so horrifying.
Honestly, is that a typo?
I don't know.
Why is that a capital? I even wrote it in my book. Capital D? Somebody tell me why dumpster is capitalized.
Is it like, oh my gosh, is it like a really cool thing where it's like, we're going to make this article authentic by having a typo so that it seems like a real news article?
Maybe. Hey,
No.
we gotta get that out in print this
Yeah.
morning. Don't worry, boss, I'm working on it. Oh, capital D, oh, we gotta go. Keep it.
She gives him the article and he looks at it and he tells her they're going to have to step in soon.
Yeah, we can't sit around and let this keep happening.
This is no
The
good.
acceleration is way too much.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do something.
Mm-hmm. Alice has not seen anything yet though, and so they think it's because they're in a loop. And they're waiting for Alice to see something before they go do something, but Alice won't have anything to see until they go do something.
Oh, this sucks.
It's this whole looping thing they're stuck in, and so Edward's like, well, we probably should literally figure this out like today. So, Bella, are you okay if we ditch school?
This is the first time I've been so proud of Bella.
She's like, heck
Yeah,
man.
goodbye.
I'm into it. He's
I
like, we
don't
gotta
need
go
to go
talk
to
to
school.
Jasper.
Jasper. And then she's like, why Jasper?
Mhm.
Remember when he tried to kill me?
Yeah.
Jasper makes me nervous, but then he doesn't make me nervous, and
He
that's
makes me
confusing.
calm. He makes me feel okay, and then he leaves, and then I'm nervous again.
It's so confusing.
So they go to the house, and when they go inside, Carlisle, Esme, and Jasper are watching the news, and Alice is sitting on the stairs doing a vision check, because that's all she's good for these days. Edward will yell at her if she stops.
I know.
And then our best guy, Emmett, strolls in from the kitchen, whatever, in left and right, and Bella looks at him and she's like, nothing bothers Emmett.
I want that.
Me too.
I want nothing to
I want
ever
it.
bother me.
I want to live in an Emmett world.
I feel like Mark lives there.
He does.
It's so weird. How? How? He knows what's happening. He's not
Yeah.
ignorant. He's just chill.
He just doesn't care.
He cares.
But like not.
He's just chill. I don't know.
understand
I
how.
wish I could get there.
I don't have any chill.
I have zero.
Emmett says, hey Edward, ditching Bella? And Edward's like, well, we're both ditching. And Emmett's like, yeah, but it's her first time.
I have this weird, okay, so I was reading this, and when he says ditching, and Edward's like, I'm ditching too, and in my mind, I thought, why is everybody home?
Because they graduated.
They
They're
graduated,
at college.
and they don't have jobs.
And Alice is sick.
I just was like, wait a minute, everybody's just at home watching the
She's
news.
doing whatever.
This is my dream life.
Edward throws the newspaper to Carlisle and asks if he has heard that they're considering a serial killer. And Carlisle sighs because Edward is too dumb to realize that that's what they've been watching on the news all morning.
They're not just watching how to make spaghetti ravioli
No.
casserole.
Edward even came over this morning to change his clothes. Didn't realize that they were
No.
getting the updates.
This is classic Edward.
It really is. Emmett volunteers to go to Seattle right now because he's bored. And Edward basically agrees with him. And then Rosalie comes downstairs to make
She
sure
hisses
Emmett-
down the stairway.
Yeah, like, don't you dare go to Seattle right now. I will stop you.
Why?
Because it's scary.
Not for her.
But if Emmett goes and he gets hurt, that's a problem.
He's not gonna get hurt.
I know, but he's such an idiot that
That's
something
true.
would happen. She knows not to let Emmett out of the house by himself.
Especially when he's bored.
Yeah.
As he says, dead bored.
Carlisle is worried about stepping in, but Esme points out that there are too many innocent people dying for them to just let it keep happening.
Yes, thank you, Esme, for coming in with some, truth bomb.
Truly. Jasper then thinks something that changes Edward's perspective on something, and he tells Jasper to share with the class. Alice comes over and she asks Jasper what he's thinking, but before he tells everyone, he wants to make sure that Bella will understand too. And so he asks Bella, what do you know about me? And she says nothing because Edward didn't want to tell me that you used to be super racist. And so Jasper just starts to roll up his sleeve.
So
His
good.
ivory sweater, pardon me.
His thin ivory sweater. What are these people wearing?
I only wear beige. I don't understand why Alice continues to allow this to happen. She's like, I buy them colors. I buy them darks. They always go get the beige thing from the Walmart and wear it.
No.
I don't know why. He holds up his arm next to a lamp, and Bella comes over and she notices that they have matching scars on their wrist. And she says, Jasper, you have the same scar as me.
Oh my gosh.
We're like twins.
Hey.
And then he's like, oh
Wait a
no,
minute.
Bella.
You ain't seen nothing yet,
I
girl.
got hella scars all over the place. So many bites. Bite, 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 bite.
I have a lot of scars like yours, Bella.
She just says, Jasper, what happened to you?
Oh, a big exclamation mark from me. I can't wait to find out what happened to Jasper.
Yeah,
This is
Jasper's such a cool character.
Such a cool story. I love it so much. Oh my gosh. Let's skip all 7 days until next week. So we
Okay,
can just
let's ditch
hear the
school.
story.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right.
That's the end of the chapter, everybody. Next week, we're going to learn about Jasper.
Oh, we get to learn about Jasper.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So thank you so much for remembering Eclipse with us.
Yeah, we're going to go record our bonus ode, which only people on Patreon get to listen to.
Yes.
No offense.
So every time we record a regular episode, we also record a bonus ode, and I'm telling you right now, they're different than this.
Very different.
I love them.
If you think that we couldn't be more all over the place, you're wrong.
If you like this and you want more of it, come over to our Patreon.
Definitely.
We got some fun people there. We're having a good time. It's really fun. Plus,
Yeah.
it helps us to create more content like
oh
this.
my gosh, yes. And if you guys are enjoying Remember Harry Potter, which I'm sure you all are listening to right now, then you should definitely go check out the Patreon because we have special Harry Potter stuff too.
Oh my gosh.
Ah.
So, we'll see you next week. And remember, if you want to start your own true crime podcast, you just gotta read some Stephanie Meyer writings.
Heck yeah, dude.
All
Living
right.
my best life over here.
Good job.
We'll see you guys next week.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.